All right, let's be real. It's already the end of February 2025. 2 months gone, poof. And if we're being honest, most people have already fallen off. The gym is emptier. The New Year's hustle tweets have disappeared. That fresh start energy, gone. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. You might be one of those people. You had plans, big ones. You told yourself, this year will be different. But if we check the receipts right now, what's actually changed? Still scrolling, still procrastinating, still convincing yourself you have time. You don't. So give me 9 minutes and I'll force you to lock in for real. Not with fake motivation, not with you got this cliches, but with the truth you need to hear before you waste another month. Let's get into it. 1. The last 5 years should have taught you something. All right, think back to 2020. COVID flipped the world upside down. Lockdowns, fear, uncertainty. And for a moment, it felt like everyone woke up. People started asking the real questions. Am I wasting my time? Do I actually like my life? What if I don't have as much time as I thought? Because when everything stopped, we finally saw how much time we had already wasted. But here's what's crazy. Most people still didn't change. Life went back to normal, and they fell right back into the same patterns. Scrolling mindlessly, complaining but never fixing anything, letting days, weeks, and years disappear without making any real moves. So let me ask you, did you learn nothing from that? Because if a global shutdown wasn't enough to shake you awake, what will be? If you went through all of that, but you're still wasting time on things that don't matter, then the next 5 years, they're going to look exactly like the last 5, unless you decide to wake up for real this time. So tell me, are you awake yet? Or are we still hitting snooze? 2. You're running out of time, and you know it. Let's stop pretending. Every year you tell yourself the same lie. I still have time, but you don't. Think about it. 5 years ago feels like yesterday. You remember it clearly. It flew by. And 5 years from now, that's going to fly by even faster. But here's the real question. How much has actually changed? Are you healthier? More successful? Closer to your goals? Or are you still procrastinating? Making excuses? Wasting time on things that don't matter? Because if you don't change now, guess what? 2030 is going to come fast, and you'll be the exact same person, with the exact same regrets. Wishing you had started that business. Wishing you had built that body. Wishing you had taken yourself seriously before it was too late. And let's be clear, it's not that you can't change, it's that you keep waiting. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll be serious after this one last distraction. I'll get my life together. Soon. But soon isn't real. It's a fantasy, a comfort lie, a way to make yourself feel better about doing nothing. And every day you keep lying to yourself, you're robbing your future self. So let's settle this now. Are you going to finally stop waiting? Or are we having this exact same conversation in 5 years? 3. The motivation lie. All right, let's get something straight. You don't need motivation. Motivation is a scam, a sugar rush, a hype song that makes you feel good for a moment, then disappears when it's time to actually do the work. That's why you started the year on fire and then fell off. Because when motivation dies, and it always dies, most people stop. Successful people, they keep going anyway. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems. Let me put it this way. You don't feel like going to the gym? Doesn't matter. The gym is non-negotiable. You don't feel like working on your business? Too bad. The schedule is set. You don't feel like showing up today? Who cares? You show up anyway. Because feelings don't build discipline. Actions do. And here's the real difference. Losers wait for motivation. Winners create habits that don't need it. Look, if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll be stuck in the same place forever. And the people who actually make it, they aren't superhuman. They just understand one thing. Discipline is greater than motivation, every single time. So, are you going to keep waiting for motivation? Or are you going to get serious and move with or without it? 4. You're not too busy. You're just lying to yourself. Let's cut the excuses. You ever catch yourself saying, I don't have time? Sounds legit, right? You're busy. Work, school, responsibilities. It's a lot. Except it's bullshit. Because let's break it down. You had time to scroll TikTok for 2 hours yesterday. You had time to binge watch that show. You had time to stare at the ceiling, overthinking your life. but somehow you didn't have time for your goals? Make it make sense. Here's the real problem. It's not time, it's priorities. Let's do the math. 24 hours in a day, 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work or school, 2 hours for eating, commuting, and basic life stuff. That still leaves 6 hours. 6 hours. What are you doing with them? If you can't answer that without stuttering, you just found your problem. Look, everyone gets the same 24 hours. The difference? Some people waste them. Some people use them to build the life they actually want. So which one are you? Are you too busy? Or are you just choosing comfort over change? 5. Your environment is either fueling you or destroying you. Look around. The people you text, the people you spend time with, the conversations you have every day. Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Because here's the truth. Your environment is shaping you, whether you realize it or not. If you're constantly around people who complain more than they take action, people who waste time and drag you down, people who settle for good enough instead of leveling up, guess what? That's going to rub off on you. You're not different. You're not built different. You're the average of the people you spend the most time with. So if you're surrounded by people who play small, you will too. But let's be clear. I'm not saying you need to cut everyone off dramatically and disappear into the mountains. What I am saying is, start setting boundaries. Spend more time around people who inspire you. Limit your exposure to negativity, gossip, and small-minded thinking. Because energy is contagious. And if you're serious about locking in this year, then you can't afford to surround yourself with people who aren't doing esht with their lives. So ask yourself, is your environment fueling your success? 6. Stop looking for balance. It doesn't exist. You ever hear people say, it's all about balance? Sounds nice, right? Work a little, play a little, keep everything balanced. Yeah, that's why most people never make it. If you want to really lock in this year, you need to accept something. You're going to be unbalanced for a while. That's how real progress happens. You can't build a business and still party every weekend. You can't get in shape and still eat like shot 24/7. You can't master a skill while spending hours on distractions. Something has to give. But here's what separates winners from everyone else. They're okay with being unbalanced. They understand that obsession creates results. You ever notice how athletes train like maniacs before a big event? No balance, just full focus. You ever see a startup founder working 16-hour days in the beginning? No balance, just full commitment. You ever hear a musician lock themselves in the studio for months? No balance, just pure grind. And guess what? That's why they succeed. Now let's be clear. This doesn't mean burn yourself out forever. It just means accept that short-term imbalance is necessary for long-term freedom. Because if you're scared of losing comfort, you're scared of winning. So make a choice. Your future self or your comfort, because you can't have both. Final thoughts. All right, no more fluff. No more talking. 2025 is already flying by. You've got 2 choices. Keep doing what you've always done. Keep making excuses. Keep wasting time. Keep telling yourself, next year. Or lock in for real. Stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop playing small. Because let's be honest, most people, they won't change. They'll hear this, feel inspired for a few minutes, and then go right back to scrolling, procrastinating, and wasting another year. So here's the final test. Are you different? If you are, then today is day 1. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Not with some big dramatic change. Just one action that moves you forward. Because a year from now, you're going to look back at this moment and either thank yourself for taking action or regret that you wasted another year. So tell me, is this the year you actually do it? Or are we having this exact same conversation in 2026?